Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Pure Faith Podcast, a podcast that we discuss all things Bible. With me tonight is my brother Mitchell.
Hi.
He's actually with me every week, and
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
Michelle.
much.
So, thank you for joining us. And what do we have going on?
You're gonna do the whole like and subscribe and
No, it's
all that.
I
good
didn't because
stuff?
I kind of got. I thought, well, I'll just wait till the end.
It's fun.
We ask that you like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't
Kinda like
forget to hit
now.
the notification icon to be notified when new episodes are released. I told you I have a headache.
So that means you're not gonna be talking much tonight?
You know, how about I stay silent the rest of the time?
Okay. We'll see how this goes. So how was your day? Well, that's good. Glad to hear it. I mean, read it.
All right, you know I can't do that.
I know
So
you can't.
I know. Wouldn't it be interesting if I could though?
Not really.
No. Oh, he loves me. He loves that I talk as much as I
That could
do.
be taken multiple ways.
Oh, listen, I thought it was gonna be freezing cold in here because it's always freezing cold in here, but it's kind of warm in here tonight.
Comfortable. So what's going on?
I don't know,
Anything?
like not much. How about you?
No.
We both played in a church league volleyball game together.
We did.
It was interesting.
It was epic.
Not most people will use their bald head to hit the ball, but Mitchell did.
Hey,
Because
it
why
was coming
not?
out my head, so I just used it.
If it would have went over the net, I wonder if they would have let us play on.
They said
'Cause it sure
said
didn't.
in
It
the
went-
rules.
Waist above, they let you.
Really? That's quite
Well,
interesting.
if I would have known that, I actually would have tried to hit it back over instead of just.
So next time I should just let it hit off my face and see where it goes.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be funny? They'd get me out of the game.
I may laugh.
Oh, both of us went diving after that one ball. It was the last one, and I think you said give 100% effort.
Oh yeah.
Mind you,
Wait,
the
what-
score.
What did I
First
say?
of all, I think we have 5 points, and if I'm not mistaken, I served 3 of those points.
Good job.
I know 3. But
I gave up like I don't know 20 of their points.
22.
Okay.
Anyhow, so I don't even think I realized it was game point for them. And you said somebody said we need to give 100% effort. Okay.
I said something, but I
And-
don't remember what I actually said.
The thing is that I think that we both went diving after the ball. We both missed it. We're both laying on the ground, and the other team was ready to like clap because it was over. I was like, oh well, I guess we should get up.
We were struggling.
we gave 100% effort.
Yeah. It just wasn't very good effort.
No, it really was. We're very entertaining.
Yeah.
We're not competitive.
No.
No, but the other team said it was refreshing not to play against a competitive team.
We were there to have fun.
We're just pure entertainment. Yeah, I won't be there the next game. I'm gonna be out camping, so I won't be there.
No idea.
I don't even know when the next game is. I don't have a schedule.
I have no
I get a
idea
text
either.
message. Hey, we
That's
need
pretty
you.
much what I get.
I'm like, do you really need me? Because
Did you watch me play the last?
oh, you just need a body on the court. Oh, okay, yeah, I got you. Oh shoot. Other than that,
Yeah.
I know, right?
Hope everybody had a good 4th.
Yeah.
We
We did.
sure. That's my plan.
Oh yeah, it was a big party. Fireworks and everything. We really enjoyed it. Bouncy houses.
Yeah.
Yep. The kids had a great time. Oh, and mom's food, top notch.
Oh, I didn't know I was cooking. I got nothing.
I know, right? Okay.
All right, we're ready to start.
Sure. Let's get on with this.
Okay.
Matthew. And we are starting at verse 3.
You gonna read?
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you sure?
I don't care.
Are there any words that I'm gonna mispronounce that people will make fun of me?
I don't know. We'll see. Well, one way to find out.
Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. I don't actually fall asleep when you read.
Oh, sorry. You're just
You
reading
say it
so
so
slow.
I know, but you say it so fast. People are like, I don't know what he just said. See,
Huh?
there's a comma I'm not an English major. I say most words wrong, but when there's a comma, you're supposed to pause.
I do pause for like a split second.
Oh, it's split.
All right, so we're going to start our verse by verse. So, as promised in our last episode,
Did we promise something?
we're just getting straight into the Beatitudes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's no more.
Wasn't
There's
sure.
no more beating around the bush here. We're getting right into the Beatitudes.
Right into it.
Right there.
Okay.
Right in verse 3.
Verse 3.
Which is, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs the kingdom of heaven. So this echoes Isaiah 61:1. Like I said in our last episode, a lot of these Beatitudes do have, I mean, this wasn't new revelation by Jesus. All of these have some sort of basis in Old Testament. And for this one of them, which there are multiple, but the one that I picked out is Isaiah 61:1. But we're not going to cover that now because, like I also said, this ties in with verse 4, our next Beatitude. And so I'm actually going to cover this along with that in verse 4. So we'll be covering this later.
Okay.
But I did want to point that out. Blessed are, this is something that we have talked about a lot.
A lot.
So this is where you would make those substitutions if
Yes.
you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want to use happy, or if you want to use
Joyful,
or fortunate, or if you want to change blessed are to congratulations to, or any of those other ones that we were talking about. If you want to change this, or you can use blessed. Blessed is also works. It just, whatever word or group of words will help you to understand the actual Greek word used here, which is makarios.
Right.
So whatever you can use to help you understand that meaning, then that is what you can use here. So, poor in spirit.
Poor in spirit.
The poor mentioned here, at least from a biblical point of view, they're often presented as God's faithful people. So, and this is true throughout the Bible, but it's especially true in Psalms. And there's it's almost a theme in Psalms where the poor in spirit, they are portrayed as being dependent on God, and being dependent on God's protection and just everything from God, especially when they are in a situation of being oppressed by the ungodly rich, is the way a lot of people put it. So these people, these poor spirits, sorry. The whole aspect about it is the fact that they have a personal relationship with Jesus, with God. Because to be, man, I actually studied before this, but
No, you didn't.
Apparently I'm not doing very good today.
It's just not flowing for you, is it?
No, it's not. So they have a relationship with God, and they live their lives in a positive spiritual orientation. And by that, I mean they are living their lives focused on God.
Okay.
So, and it kind of has a little bit of that same feeling as joyful
Mm-hmm.
or the happiness, not the feeling, the state of being happy. That is Macario's.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It has that same general feeling where they are living their lives, and no matter what happens in their life, they are staying focused on God. And that is what is meant by poor spirit, at least in a biblical point of view. So, what this doesn't mean, what poor in spirit doesn't mean, is the fact that a person is financially poor.
Right.
It has nothing to do with a person's
Mm-mm.
financial status. Good or bad, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
And it also doesn't mean that they're weak in character. It doesn't mean that, they are not a normal functioning person in
Mm-hmm.
society.
Mm-hmm.
So it has nothing to do with any of that. A person can be financially rich or poor
Mm-hmm.
and still be poor in spirit. That's
It makes
That's
sense.
just the way
Yeah.
it works. But however, the opposite is also true. Somebody can be financially well off, but still lack being poor in spirit. Or they could be quote unquote rich in spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody who could be dirt poor, they don't have two pennies rubbed together, they could still be rich in spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And by rich in spirit, we're talking about somebody who is self righteous, arrogant, somebody who their main goal in life is to reach that next rung in that social ladder. They're striving after financial wealth. They're striving after um, status and power
Mm-hmm.
and position, and they would go as far as to throw their own mother under the bus if it was going to get them another step higher in the rung of social status. I mean, it's all about them. They're focused on themselves, their own
Mm-hmm.
personal needs, their own
Mm-hmm.
personal wants, and there is no connection whatsoever to God or Jesus or anything with religion, period.
Mm.
It's all about them reaching for the next step. That's what we mean by rich in spirit, because they think highly of themselves,
Mm.
where that is obviously the opposite of poor in spirit,
Mm-hmm.
where we give up ourselves and we focus on God. We put our lives in the hands of God and we follow Him and not ourselves. So, from a biblical point of view, to be poor was meant to be a frame of mind, and like we said, it's not a economic status.
Mm-hmm.
It is a frame of mind. It is the way you would view yourself in an inward status, and it really doesn't matter what people see on the outward side of you. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you may have, nice cars, nice things, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not about the outward. It's about the inward. So you can have nice stuff and be completely focused on God and be poor in spirit, and that's all good.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the opposite's also true. So this kind of reminds me of an idiom. Hey, you remember what an idiom means? Should I skip that?
No, we've already done this before. It's like deja vu.
Yeah, but this is a good one.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. The idiom is as follows.
You're crazy.
What?
You're crazy.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
So yes, the idiom I'm referring to is the fact that money can't buy you happiness.
Right.
And the whole idea of this idiom is the fact that you can have all the wealth in the
Mm-hmm.
world. I mean, you could be the richest person in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're rich in spirit, like we just talked about, if you are self-centered, everything's about you, and you have no relationship at all with God, then your life's gonna be miserable.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to find happiness. You're going to be chasing all these different things, trying to find happiness. And the book of is it Ecclesiastes? Yeah, that's where Solomon is. Sorry, this just came to me, so I'm going with it.
Okay.
So Solomon, where everything is meaningless, and if you actually read the book, it's a story about how Solomon goes out and tries to do all these different things, whatever it is, everything that he could possibly do in a worldly fashion to try to find happiness. But in the end, everything is meaningless.
Mm.
And the whole point of the book is the fact that without Jesus, without God, life is meaningless.
Mm.
So that's kind of what we're talking about here with this idiom. Money can't buy you happiness. You can have all the money in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but without Jesus, your life will still be meaningless. So the key to this idiom is not the money, it's not the wealth, it's not your personal financial status or position. It's about happiness.
Mm.
And you can't go to your local convenience store to buy happiness. You can't go to a big box store to buy happiness. And there's no store online, no website you can go to.
Amazon?
No, even Amazon doesn't have happiness.
I'll have to
checked.
search.
I checked.
You did?
Yeah, all I have is signs saying "be happy" and stuff. Actually, I just made that up. But no, you can't buy happiness.
No.
The only way you can get happiness is through being poor in spirit.
Yeah.
And you're poor in spirit or the way you portray being poor in spirit is by having your life focused on God. So giving your life to Jesus and becoming dependent on him instead of on yourself.
And how people are blinded to all of it
Oh yeah.
is beyond me. You know, in the world today, that if you don't have everything, it just blows my mind that from the outside looking in, you take a deep dive into your faith at 40 rather than at any age, say 27, and how you were led so long down the wrong path that happiness was about your status, materialistic things, all of this. And it's not until I don't know, do you grow up and you realize it? Of course, for me, I feel like I just got hit in the face, with
And unfortunately, that for a lot of people,
exactly.
that's kind of what has to
I
happen.
know, and it's so sad. And I just want
Yeah.
people to know that do not wait for an unfortunate event to happen in your life to find joy and realize that materialistic things is not happiness.
Yeah.
It's not happiness.
That doesn't mean you can't have material things,
Right.
but it's about being focused
Right.
on God, on
Right.
Jesus.
I mean, he will always provide. So
Yes.
you're rich in your faith and you're rich in your heart and everything because he will provide for you. It's not all about the dollar.
Nope.
Mm.
Nope. I actually hate money.
Do you?
Yeah. And I hate time.
Do you hate time?
I hate time.
Mm.
I don't know why. I have a.
You're always reminding me to put my timer on, so I didn't
I
know that
know,
you
but
hated
I hate
time so
time.
much. Time does go by very fast.
It
It
does.
absolutely does. So,
Anyways,
yeah,
getting
I'm
back
so
to what we're
sorry.
talking about.
See, if you
So,
would have told me just to not talk the entire time.
is it too late?
Absolutely. I haven't said that in a while.
Rabbit hole. Anyways, so again, the whole point of this idiom is happiness. How do you find happiness? And you find happiness by finding joy, like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If you can find joy, then that's where you're going to find happiness. But how do you find joy? You find joy through a close, deep personal relationship with Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that. Was it last week or
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
But having that personal relationship with Jesus and understanding the fact that no matter what happens in life,
Mm-hmm.
you have that promise of eternity with Jesus. And that's where you find that joy at. So, but how do you develop that relationship with Jesus? Okay, so you need that relationship with Jesus in
Yep.
order to find joy. Well, how do you develop that relationship? Well, you develop that relationship by being poor in spirit. Again, how do you show or how do you develop the fact that you're poor in spirit? And that is living your life focused on Jesus. So, in other words, it's all focused on Jesus.
Mm.
Like we were talking before we started. What's the answer to every question?
Jesus.
So that's also the
That's
answer.
ironic that we talked about that before we even started this episode.
It is. Okay, so moving on from there. For theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So again, we've already talked about this briefly, and the fact that the kingdom of heaven is already here, and that was brought to us via Jesus. Is the answer again? But yes, his death on the cross, the burial, resurrection, his ascension into heaven. With that came the fact that we now have the kingdom of heaven here on earth with us. We are living in an age of the kingdom of heaven. But how do we gain access to the kingdom of heaven? Same answer.
Jesus.
Very good.
Boy, I am it.
First,
Let me get myself an A+.
well, I don't know. There's a bit of a hesitation, maybe a B-.
That's not very nice. I'll
I'm
give
a,
myself
I'm
a
a
4.0 too.
I'm a strict teacher.
I wrote it on my paper.
Anyways,
Pure entertainment.
so I don't even know where I was. So how do you gain access to the kingdom of heaven? It's through, again, Jesus. It's through that
Yes.
relationship with Jesus.
Mhm.
The fact, accepting the fact that Jesus did die on the cross for our sins, the fact that he was resurrected, accepting all that is how you get access through the kingdom of heaven. But another way you could say that is by being poor in spirit. Because if you accept Jesus as who he is and what he has done for us, and then you live your life focused on Jesus, that's how you live your life being poor in spirit. And that's how you're going to find that joy. That's how you're going to find that happiness,
Right.
is by focusing all that. But notice that this is in present tense. It says, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So if we remember from, I don't know, 6 episodes ago, verses 3 and 10 have the same second clause.
Yes.
Which is, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And it kind of puts those bookends at the beginning and end of the Beatitudes.
I remember.
But all the ones in between, so verses 4 through 9, their second clause is going to be future tense. So it's something is going to be happening, whatever. So this means that if we do accept Jesus, if we do everything where I just said, then we have access to the kingdom of heaven. Right now, today, if you accept Jesus and decide to live your life focused on Jesus, you have access to the kingdom of heaven. It's not something that you have to wait for. It's not something that is going to be this far off promise that is unobtainable. It is something that you can have right now today.
And how does that not make you smile?
It should.
I know, right?
And you were so grumpy when you got here, and now look, you're smiling.
So grumpy. I was so grumpy, and I'm so happy now because I just know
You have Jesus.
I have Jesus.
Hey, how much time we got?
Oh, 3 minutes. Boy, that time's just really going by fast.
It is. So we'll go ahead and start verse 4.
Okay.
Since we have 3 minutes.
Okay.
And verse 4 is, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. And again, starting off with blessed are, we've covered that quite a bit. And going into those who mourn, now that we have a better idea what Makarios means, and if we actually substitute happy in for this, to say, happy are those who mourn, if you look at it from the fact that happy is a feeling, this becomes kind of
Yeah.
nonsense, and it
Yeah.
doesn't feel right.
No.
But if you look at it from the aspect that happy is a state of being, like joyful, then it makes sense to say happy are those who mourn, because now you know it's not about that feeling, it's about the state of being happy or joyful. And the reason I bring that up again is because whenever we start talking about those who mourn,
Yes.
mourn isn't necessarily the same kind of mourn that we would typically think of in today's society. It's not about just the sadness, the grief, like when you lose a loved one or whatever may happen in your life. It's not necessarily that type of mourning. I mean, yes, that is included, but this mourning has more to do with referring to mourning from being separated from God. So this, to put that more specifically, when we sin, then that creates a broken relationship with God. It fractures that relationship, and it will cause separation if you let that sin go unspoken. If you don't confess those sins, then that creates a fracture in that relationship, and it could fester, and that gives room for the devil to come in and do his evil work. So even though we may be living our lives according to the Beatitudes, that doesn't mean you may not slip up and sin. Some typical, or just a few ideas that I had off the top of my head, was drunkenness, pornography, lust, idolatry, all these things that people may have been doing frequently before Christ. They may have a lapse after accepting Christ, and that's going to create that separation. And so this mourning is mourning over the fact that you have broken that relationship with God. And then it's up to you to mend that relationship. So if you are able to mend that relationship, they are the ones that are blessed, that are happy, those along those lines.
Okay.
Man, I don't think I'm gonna
20, 19.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have
18.
time to get to the next section. So when we come back next week, we're going to start kind of like what I hinted at the beginning. We're going to go back to Isaiah 61.
Okay.
We're going to cover 1 through 3 and kind of do a little bit of a breakdown of that, because that pulls in this idea of being poor in spirit as well as the mourning aspect of it, and kind of combines them both together and kind of shows us how they work together. So that's what we'll do next week.
Fantastic. So let me find my paper.
Okay.
Okay, here
Waiting on you. Waiting on you. Waiting on you.
We thank you for joining us. Please leave a comment on this video or go to the contact page on purefaithliving.com to send us a message. And as always, if you like what you hear, then we ask that you share this show with others so we can all work together in spreading the good news of
Jesus Christ.
Don't forget to subscribe, and we will talk to you again next time.
Oh yeah, subscribe. Have a blessed day, everybody.